You always hear somebody or people talk about the one thing they would grab if they had to hit the road, their bug out bag or their one gun or whatever it is. You know, they've got their bug out vehicle and their bug out bag. And you only grab one thing and you got to go. What would it be? Or you're stranded on a desert island. What one book would you take, or one supermodel? Well, for me, if I only take one thing, it's not a rifle. Well, if I only take one thing, there's a good chance it might be a blanket. If you've ever been stuck outside in the middle of the night, a blanket's pretty valuable. But if I can only take one thing, it's going to be an axe. Rifle's useful, pistol's useful, shotgun's useful. You can come up with any number of things that's useful, but there's nothing as useful as an axe. And a reasonably a decent man can walk into the woods with an axe and he's got a real good shot at survival. You can make some arguments for some other things, you know, but for me, if you're heading out into the woods and you've got to survive and long term without knowing what's going on, an axe is what you got to have. Doesn't necessarily have to be a double bit axe. I just happen to have a double bit axe because someone gave me a double bit axe, and I like them. They're cool. Probably more useful than a double bit axe, though, is a single bit with a pole, a flat edge on the back, so you can use it for a hammer. But both are as effective at cutting, and one looks really cool. This being obviously the cool one. There's a lot of really good stuff on the web about axes. I won't bore you too much with it. Wrangler Star is a really good one. There's a guy on YouTube named Ben Orford who probably is the best when it comes to talking about making axe handles and putting handles on the axes. Any of you with real sharp eyes will tell that I've got the handle on this one incorrectly. But I'm going to fix it at some point, but it cuts pretty good, so I don't know. The one thing I do want to say is everyone talks about what kind of axe and axe head styles and weights and everything. You know, it's an axe, and everyone, not everyone, but you'll hear people worry about, you know, the steel quality and types of steel and everything. And guys, it's steel and you're chopping a tree. So, you know, it doesn't really matter what kind of steel you're using, it's going to chop the tree. And it's not going to stay sharp forever. So, you know, don't worry too much about, you don't need to go buy a $200 Swedish axe, you know, a $35 American axe will do just fine. I would say stay away from fiberglass handles. They break, and the heads, I've never had a head off of a fiberglass handled axe or split and maul go back on a wood handle well. They always come loose for whatever reason. I don't know if they don't pay the same attention to the eye, or if they do it differently for the fiberglass ones, but they don't hold on to a wood handle as much. The thing you never hear people talking about is how to use an axe. I know it sounds like Antonio Banderas, you know, you stick the pointy end in the other man, but that's not it. And you can spend a lot of time flailing around at a tree with an axe and get really tired. The trick, and if you're doing it right, you'll know right away. The trick is to come in. Here, I got one right here. Come in straight with a hit, and then come in at an angle at a hit. And if you do that, and you don't have to do like, you know, exactly one straight, one angle, one straight one. You might go a couple straight and then a couple angle. But if you're doing it right, you're going to start getting big chips like this off real quick. This is about a 10-inch diameter tree. This is a useful tree as far as, you know, survival going. You would use this to maybe build a shelter. It's on the small end of what you'd cut for a log cabin, but it's useful for just about any other kind of shelter and any number of things. It took me maybe not even 2 minutes to notch this like that. And if I was going to go the rest of the way and take this tree down right now, I'd come back on the other side and I'd notch it just a little bit higher here to hinge it, and it'd just fall beautiful right there. I just did this one to kind of demonstrate. I'm not going to take it all the rest of the way down right now. I'd have to clear all this out and get myself some working room. But this is a useful skill. This is something every man who thinks there might be a chance he'll find himself in some kind of survival situation. You want to at least practice this a couple times, because, like I said, less than 2 minutes for me to do that. But some guy who maybe didn't have any practice or any training on it, that could take 30 minutes, and he could be exhausted and be it there. especially if he's just trying to hack it straight in. This is a real nice, I was at a little bit of an angle here, you can see my angle, but this is a real nice wedge, another little wedge on the back, and you've got a hinge point, and if you do it right, you can make that thing twist as it falls, and you can move it. You'd be surprised how accurate you get with laying this tree down. So that's it. Get yourself an axe and learn how to use it, because I mean, even if things go down for a week, you know, you can find yourself a useful skill cutting firewood. You know, chainsaws are nice. I've got a bunch of them, or several of them. I love them. But they're grid dependent. You got to have gas. You got to have oil. Those chains don't last very long. You got to have files. If it all goes to hell in a handbasket, that chainsaw is only going to last as long as your gas can lasts, or your chain holds out, or your carburetor doesn't gum up, or any one of the number of things that can go wrong with a small engine. So, appreciate it, guys.